Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Holowitz, and in this tutorial I want to talk to you a little bit about Act for Web. Now, some of you might or might not be aware of this, but there are a couple different versions of Act that most of you are familiar with. There's what's called Act Pro, which is approximately $259, and there's also Act Premium, which is approximately $499. So there's a substantial difference. Act Premium is really designed for bigger groups of people, for small businesses with roughly 10 Act users or more. So Act Premium has some optional tools that are built in, and one of them is called Act Premium for Web. Now, what is that? Well, in a nutshell, Act Premium for Web is something that has to be set up, and it's something that needs a little bit of technical expertise behind the scenes. Now, on that note, again, keep in mind that mostly it's for bigger companies, but I think there are reasons that a smaller company might use it. Let me give you a look at this just so you can see. What I'm looking at right now is Act Premium. This is Act Premium for Web that's actually installed. If you buy Act Premium for Web is also included with it. And what you get is what you see right here on the screen, Act. It looks virtually identical to Act Pro. In fact, if you're using Act Pro and I showed you Act Premium, chances are you wouldn't even notice any different. But this is Act right here. And in this particular case, I'm on the My Record in my database. So what I can do is if I want to schedule, for example, a meeting, I'm going to come up and click on Meeting. And I'm going to come over here and let's say we're going to schedule a meeting for the 21st. Let's say we're going to schedule it for approximately 11 o'clock for an hour. And I'm just going to type in here Meeting 1. Nothing too substantial. And I'm going to click OK. So now we've scheduled a meeting. There it is right there for the 21st of November, Meeting 1. Let me take you down below here, and I want you to observe I'm going to click on a browser. This is Firefox. And now what we see is we see a browser. And what this is, it's almost identical to what I just showed you, okay? Let's go back to this. That's Act, the standard version or the computer-based version. This is Act, the premium for web. What we're viewing now is we're viewing Act in a browser, and the particular browser is Firefox. And when you first glance at it, you know something's not quite right, but you can't put your finger on it. It looks a little bit different because we're viewing it in a web browser, but it's my Act database right here. Now I want you to observe something. You'll notice that that meeting isn't down here yet. Well, to do that, all I've got to do is click on the Activities tab, and it in essence refreshes the screen to bring in that meeting because I just scheduled it on one. Act was still sort of taking a snapshot or a picture of the old, occurrences of what was going on. And I just had to refresh it. I had to tell it, hey, go look at this again. If I had navigated away from this, if I had clicked on a different tab, it would have been available right then and there. So it would have come in and refreshed automatically. Now on that note, I can come in here and I can also schedule a meeting. So let me click on schedule meeting. And I'm just going to come in here real quick. I'm going to type in meeting 2 and you'll notice it looks a little bit different than what you're used to using Act, but there's so many things that are very similar. So I'm just going to call it meeting 2 and I'm going to leave it for today. And let's maybe make it for, let's say, come down here and make it for 9 p.m. today. It's going to be an hour long and I'm going to click OK. So now here's the meeting. Meeting 2, 11:19, meeting 2, 1 hour. Let's go back over to Act and bring that up on the screen. And you'll notice that here it is, right here, meeting 2, 1 hour. So what is the advantage of using Act Premium for web? Well, again, there's some setup behind the scenes that has to be done, but I'm not going to get into that for right now. But the advantage is this. You could potentially be anywhere whatsoever, and as long as you have a web browser or a mobile device, such as an iPad or some kind of tablet, you have access to your Act database regardless of where you are. To log in, you would just simply go to a web address and you'd log in to a login screen that's very, very similar to what you're used to when you log into Act. So Act Premium for web is really an interesting tool, and I think there's a lot of things you can do with it to really there's just a lot of potential here. And I just want to expose you to it because all of a sudden, if you start seeing some of the capabilities of ACT, even though this version is more expensive, when you start realizing what it can do for you or for your team, it's really quite astounding, some of the potential. So through time, I'll go through some more of the characteristics of ACT for Web and show you how it works and show you some of the ways it works. But at this moment, all I really want to do is I just want to expose you to it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Have a great day and a good weekend. Bye now.